What's up, y'all? How you doing? I'm gonna wait for a few minutes, see who popped in. Yes. Yes. Just gonna wait a few minutes to see who pops in, and then we'll start up. I want to say Happy Father's Day to all my Babas out there. To all my Babas out there, Happy Father's Day, Happy Baba's Day. All right. All right. Greetings, everybody. Let's go ahead and get this in. Let's go ahead and get it in. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for continually supporting PTHD work. HealPTHD.com. It's some very much needed work. And I'm so blessed and glad that this mission has fell upon my plate to approach and to embark on this mission in my lifetime to see what I can do, play my part to help heal what we call PTHD. If you want to know more about what we do, again, always go to healPTHD.com. Go to healPTHD.com, and you can check out everything we got over there. We have a bunch of workshops. We have a big homie coaching program that we do. Hood summits we do. A lot of stuff. Just go over there and just check it out and get involved and put in some work and get this healing done. As every Sunday, we do Reset Sundays in order to give you new ideas, more fresher ideas of how to approach things throughout your week to come, but more importantly, throughout the rest of your life, so that you can have different things in your tool belt other than what you was taught in the hood of how to deal with or approach things. So we want to help the community out with some good information. And today's information is probably one of those key ones, those major ones you're going to want to watch, and you're going to probably want to watch over and over again, because this concept of Ori speaks volumes to why we do what we do. So at the end of the day, I want to welcome you in. Please share this video. If you like what we do, please, all I ask, for a payment, not for $1. I'm not going to pass the collection plate, but I will ask that you share this video and subscribe to the channel, to the YouTube channel, so that we can grow this message and information. We can't grow without people. So we need you to share, and subscribe. All right. So let's do this. Let's jump right in. What are we talking about today on Reset Sundays? Well, it's a topic that's near and dear to my Ori and my heart. It's about what we call Ori. And before I start this, all of my Yoruba, Ifa, Akapos, and followers should have an idea about what this is. So I want to speak to the people who may not know or understand what Ori is. And Ori is spelled O-R-I, okay? O-R-I. Now, what is that? Ori is basically this. Ori is your head, number one. Your brain, number two. And this is where Your destiny and everything that you have come into this world to do is stored. Your personality, your purpose, all of that, your character, all that stuff is in your brain, is in your head. Your Ori is a direct extension of the Most High on earth in every human being, right? Every human being has a piece of the Most High here on earth, and every human being has a particular purpose that they're sent by the Most High here to do and pursue in this lifetime. Hope that makes sense. And if you have any questions about Ori as we go, please don't hesitate to put your questions in the chat. All right. If you're following us on Facebook, DM me. All right. So the question now lies, though. Does your Ori manage your patterns in your life? Does your Ori manage your patterns in your life? Or do your patterns manage your Ori? In other words, is the tail wagging the dog or is the dog wagging the tail? Think about this concept for a minute. Again, this is presented by healedpthd.com. More information, go get it there. Now, there are two kinds of people walking this planet. There's two kinds of people. All right. There are people who's already managed their patterns, which means that they have taken in all the godly information that they can and they abide by those guidelines the best way they can. Because no one's perfect. Let's keep it real. No one's perfect, right? But you, whatever it is you study, whatever it is you align with, be it Ifa, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, whatever it is that you do, you align yourself with that structure as much as you possibly can, and you try to walk that pathway as best you can. Life is challenging, we know, but as best you can is the thing. The other people are the ones whose patterns manage their Ori. Their patterns manages their Ori. What does that mean? Their experiences is their God, basically. What they've gone through, what they've seen, where they come from, what they were told, what they were programmed with in their head is their baseline of understanding. Now, is that a good thing? Hey, look at society and then ask yourself that question again. But which one would you rather go by? Your experiences or what the Most High has left here for us to do? Which one has more weight? You judge. Now, many people never stop long enough to ask themselves, who is actually in control of their life? Now, remember, your head is the number one centerpiece of your life. Like nothing happens without the brain. You cannot replace the brain, but you can replace an organ here, down here in these lower extremities, right? You can replace those. But once your brain is gone, it's done. Your brain sends out the functionality throughout the rest of your body, throughout your speech, your thoughts, everything. So let me ask you again the question. Many people never stop long enough to ask themselves who is actually in control of their life. In other words, what's actually in their brain that's dictating how their life is going to go. And number one, number two, is it derivative of your higher self and higher understanding? Is it your divine alignment with higher understanding? And lastly, is it your spiritual intelligence speaking through you? Now, I know some of this is going to sound so esoteric to other people, but I want you to sit with this information, y'all. I'm not trying to act as if Jasir Makanjuala is so pristine, perfect, and I do everything right. I told you in every episode of this Reset Sunday, I have to reset for myself just as much as I want to help y'all reset. All right. So are we always going to hit the market? Absolutely not, as I keep saying. But have you even started trying to shoot at this marker and hit this bullseye in your life? That's the issue. So is this thing based upon your spiritual intelligence? Or are you simply reacting from patterns you never examined? Now, remember, this is PTHD. When you come from the hood, when you come from the ghetto, when you come from between the red lines, you learn a lot of things along the way that are not always necessarily the things that you should be following. Emotional things, patterns. Have you examined how they play out in your life? Have you truly examined how they show up for you? Because patterns repeated long enough become your identity. Notice it says becomes your identity. It's not your identity, but you can shift your identity from where it's supposed to be to becoming something that it wasn't supposed to be just because the patterns have repeated long enough. Identities repeated long enough become prisons for a person, which means they become cages that you don't sometimes don't know how to get out of. I wish somebody told me this a long time ago, but I'm glad I learned it now. You see, in what we call Yoruba understanding, and that's Nigerian, okay? So you can understand where it's coming from. In the Yoruba understanding, Ori is more than just a physical head. It's more than just your skull and brain parts and all that. It's more than that. Ori represents consciousness, destiny, alignment, intuition, divine intelligence, and spiritual command center on your life. So here's the deal. If your life is going in the wrong direction and you don't feel good about your life, blame it on your Ori. Don't blame other people. Blame it on your Ori. Your life is going to be dictated by who? You. The choices that you make. And if you make bad choices and it renders a life that you're not comfortable with, how do you blame anybody else but your Ori? If my computer starts glitching right now, it starts messing up, hopefully it doesn't, knock on wood. If it starts tripping out right now, glitching, should I blame my other friend's computer or should I blame the hard drive and the motherboard in this one? Your Ori is a motherboard. Your Ori is a computer. Your Ori dictates everything that you do. It is X's and O's in your brain. Ori is in every human being as an extension of God or the Most High on this planet. This thing is the number one deity you have access to every day, all day. The question is, why would you ever poison what God gave you? And if you poison it, how do you expect it to render positive results in your life? Through your mouth, through your tongue, through your actions. Well, you may be asking, well, why do you think I do that? I would never do that. Listen, what do you watch on television? What do you and your friends talk about? What kind of people are the friends around you? Or even family members? Pay attention to how you speak and ask yourself or ask other people how they receive you and your reactions or actions around them. Do some work on yourself and then ask yourself this question. Because if God gave you this thing called Ori, why would we allow things that don't align with what God has ordained for us to live by? Like, again, we're not trying to be perfect because nobody is. But some things just don't go inside your head, period. It should never have real estate in your head. Because your Ori is supposed to govern your patterns, meaning you are supposed to consciously decide what enters your spirit, What enters your mind, your emotions, your habits, your environment, and your life. That's your job. And that's my job. Is to decide what I listen to, what I watch, who I let around me, where I go and involve myself with. What am I doing habitually? How does what I do habitually affect other people? Because whatever repeatedly enters my ori and yours eventually becomes your patterns and my patterns. What you listen to repeatedly, what you normalize repeatedly, what you entertain repeatedly, what you emotionally react to repeatedly, what you tolerate repeatedly, all of it becomes programming that you will abide by default. If you listen to gangster rap long enough, you want it to become a gangster. If you listen to Public Enemy enough, you probably rocked a gang of African medallions and wore red, black, and green all the time. If you listen to sad R&B songs, you're probably gonna walk around with moody as I don't know what, hating the opposite sex probably. If you listen to classical jazz, you're probably gonna be feeling real smooth throughout your day. You're gonna be on cloud nine. If you watch Power all the time, you're gonna gravitate to power activities. If you watch Basketball Wives all the time, you're gonna be snappy and rolly with the neck and really quick to talk mess to other people. You want to snap back and fight back all the time. What we consume and what we allow in our environment and our space programs us. And it's up to us to say, no, stop, I don't want that. My ori is way too important. Have you ever, let's be honest, y'all, let's have an honest conversation. Have you ever, let's say, watched things on your computer and the algorithm starts picking it up and then you start seeing it more and more and more in your timeline on social media? That's because you've let that into your computer. And when that computer knows you're watching it, they want you to watch it more. So again, they start giving it to you more. That's how spirit works too. The more you allow these things into your world, spirit is going to keep showing you what you're doing. But then it becomes, when you do it too long and you repeat it over and over again, it becomes your normal. So you don't even say stop, delete that. You accept it. And then when you see everybody else doing it, it's become super normal. Then when you hear it in a song, it's like, hey, it's really real. You watch it on a movie, you're like, that's that thing. But what if it wasn't supposed to be that? Hmm. If you like what I'm talking about, please share this video with somebody else. Once programming becomes automatic, it starts running your life without permission. It don't even have to ask you permission no more. It's just going to do it. Like I said, it's going to be default. It's going to be by default. That's why some people can't stop sabotaging relationships. Some people can't stop reacting overly emotional to every little thing. Some people can't stop self-destruction opportunities, self-destructing opportunities. They get a chance to do something and their way of thinking and their way of being programmed gets in the way. I will never forget when I first heard about the brother that was coaching, the black guy that was coaching the Boston Celtics, and he got in trouble for having sexual relationships with a woman in the office. You're a black head coach in Boston, of all places. You're a Boston Celtics head coach and you're black, and you allow your uncontrollable urges, I'll say, to get in the way of your gig and get you fired from a position, very prestigious position, I might add. And you lose it all over your desires. See, I wonder what was in his or her that made him do that, to make him think that that would ever be okay. That's called self-destruction. Some people can't stop repeating the same cycles with different faces, meaning you think that because this person is acting this way and you don't get along with that person, that you know what, I'm gonna end this one, I'm gonna go to somebody else and it's gonna be different. Only to find out it's the same thing with a different face. You know why? Because it's not them, it's your ori. So you only can get, you can attract. I hate this phrase that you are what you attract. I don't believe that at all, 0%. You are not what you attract. You are what you choose. You can attract anybody, pretty people, ugly people, fat people, skinny people, angry people, calm people, loving people, unloving people. You can attract all kind of stuff. The question is, what are you going to choose though? You chose the person that's driving you crazy. Why? Is it because you got some stuff inside of your ori that you haven't dealt with and faced yet? So that person is coming to show you what's there, but it's so normal in your head that you don't see it as a problem. But it frustrates you at from time to time. Because sometimes you don't want to hear what they got to say all in your ear, talking crazy or doing all these stupid things that you don't necessarily appreciate in those moments. But you come from that. And you haven't faced that, forgiven that, and moved on from that. So therefore, you're repeating cycles. In other words, their patterns, and yours have hijacked your ori, got you on remote control responsive. Now their trauma speaks louder than your wisdom. Now you can't even see wisdom in the situation because of how these people are showing up in your life, because your ori also has some poison in it that resonates with those people. Eventually, they begin confusing emotional reflexes with personality. Personal reflections with personality. So your reflections are not your personality. Those reflections are the poison in your ori showing up and sprouting. They're not you. But until you actually fix them, they look like you to other people. Because most of the people are not going to sit down and ask you, hey, what's on your ori? Are you okay? What made you do that? How did you grow up? Did this come from you? Where you? How did you come to this conclusion that that's okay? I'm just asking because I'm curious and I love you and I care about you and I want to make sure you're okay. But when you said that, that kind of hurt me, and I don't know why you would want to hurt me like that. People are not going to ask you that. They're going to just think you crazy or you got problems mentally. So eventually, though we come to the conclusions in our lives, as normal as it becomes, that I'm just like that. I'm just that way. That's just who I am. No, that's not how you are. That's what you have been programmed. No, that's just how I respond. That's just how I do it. Like they got me messed up. That's just how I talk. Here's another one. That's how I was raised. I mean, that's where I come from. That's how I was raised. I mean, they mad at me because of how I was raised, and they can be mad. That's my favorite one. That's just me. Love me or leave me. No. Let me be the first one to tell you no. That may not be you. That may simply be an unmanaged pattern in you. That may simply be an unmanaged pattern in you, meaning that you haven't identified it. You haven't went in and plucked the splinter out. You haven't taken the antibiotics to get rid of it. You haven't dealt with that issue. It has become normal. And now it's repeat and it's on default, but it's not supposed to be there in the first place. You see, unmanaged patterns eventually begin managing your destiny. It's like this concept of epigenetics. It's like we are all born with these genes, and Epigenetics is a defect on your genes that doesn't allow certain aspects of your genes to open, blossom, bloom, and be realized and actualized. It kind of stunts its growth. When you have unmanaged patterns in your life, they begin to manage your destiny, meaning that they will block some things from sprouting at times, and probably at the wrong times, but any time is the wrong time when it's a part of your destiny. They will block it because you will get alignment, and spirit is trying to help you to go in this direction, but you still holding on to these ideologies that sprout up at the wrong times or the right times, and they don't align with where you're supposed to go. So when you get that interview, or you get this contract, or when you get this thing that you desire, this spouse, whatever it is, or this house, whatever it is, that you say something, do something, react to something, that spoils it all. And you're probably gonna say something like, "Well, it's for me. It's for me. I would have it." No, sometimes you caused it. It was supposed to happen. Your Ori created that problem. Don't take the easy way out. Well, things happen for a reason. It wasn't for me. No, that ain't it. Take responsibility here. Be accountable. You wasn't supposed to talk to them that way. You wasn't supposed to react to them that way. You wasn't supposed to do that. But because that's where you're from and that's how you are, that's how everybody get down where you get down, where you come from. Everybody supposed to just accept that. No, that's PTHD, yo. That's full-blown PTHD. But still, they can get the house. You can get the house. You can get the cars. You can get everything you think you want. You can get the blessings that you think you desire. And this thing in your Ori can come around and burn everything to the ground. I hope y'all getting this. Do I got any comments here? Let me see what we got going on. No comments there. Private comment section here? No. Okay, good. We are back in business. Again, I want to welcome you if you just joined us to Reset Sundays. If you have any questions, you want to join the conversation, you can always pop in. Hit the link that I sent you. If you got my text message, hit the link that I sent you. It'll bring you onto the screen here. I'll bring you on up and we can continue the conversation. We're almost done with this one here, though. But please stay with me and share this video with somebody. All right, so they can get the opportunities. You can get the opportunities and sabotage it through ego, impulsive, insecure, pride, fear, anger, lust, or an emotional immaturity, because patterns unmanaged will erode blessings over time. Okay. Not always immediately, but over time, they will erode. It's kind of like rust. All right. Rust, it will just spread eventually, slowly. But as long as you don't manage these issues in your Ori, and your Ori is wagging you, or you're trying to wag the Ori is in control here. It's supposed to be, at least. But if you think you're in control and what you consumed and what you've seen and what you've gone through is now leading the charge here, then there's a problem. And again, it's going to begin to erode and rust things away to where you can't use them no more. And many people don't realize this. The enemy is not always outside of you. It's in you. That's why I can't really subscribe to this concept of a devil. My choices are the devil. The bad choices I make can be the devil. You still have a choice, whatever happens in life. You still have a choice. Just because something bad shows up in your life doesn't mean you even have to accept it or go through it. You can walk around that and go somewhere else. Stop me when I'm telling the truth. The enemy is not always outside of you. Sometimes the enemy is the pattern you never interrupted. Sometimes we're the author of the things that happen in our life that we don't appreciate. And that's why rewiring your mind is so important. I can't explain how important rewiring your mind. I can't explain how important that is. It's very necessary for you to get through this process to get to the other side of the peace that you actually want. Because the goal of healing is not just feeling emotionally better in your emotions. The goal of restoring Ori back into leadership. We need to put Ori back in its original position, in control of our life. The direct extension of the God or Most High on earth. Removing all the poison and stuff that we have allowed over the years in, and reprogramming it and resetting it with the blessings and wisdom of the Most High, and walking that chalk line as best we can in this lifetime. Not perfectly always, but as best as we possibly can. To return to the place where consciousness manages your reaction. We want you to return to the place where your consciousness is how you respond, not your experiences. Where wisdom interrupts your impulses. When you get that blood boiling feeling and you want to just react and say something to somebody, let wisdom kick in. Because you see, wisdom, which is located in this frontal lobe here, can't communicate with your amygdala, is where your brain's alarm system and emotional center is located. They don't go together. It's either going to be one or the other. But you have the ability to make that choice. What switch you going to turn on? And that's the tough part, because when it happens, you got to be able to do that in a split second. But the more you practice that over and over, like I said before, it becomes your reality. It becomes your default mechanism. This is also where your alignment filters what enters your spirit, where your higher self tells your emotions, you do not lead here. Get out. You are not running this situation this time. I'm running the situation, and the wisdom that I have acquired that dictates how this is supposed to go is going to run this particular situation. Do that over and over again. Burn those ideas in your brain by reading, studying, listening to things that consistently feed those ideologies, and then check me out. Check with me and see how it turns out for you and other people around you. Ori manages patterns. Your relationships changes. When Ori manages your patterns, relationships changes. Your finances changes. Your health changes. Your parenting changes. Your discipline changes. Your spiritual life changes. Why? Because your life can only rise to the level of the patterns your Ori permits. There's a saying in Ifa tradition. There's an Odu, for those Ifa people who know what I'm talking about. There's an Odu called Ogbe Ogunda, Ogbe Ionu. It says, it's not a person's laziness, stupidity, a lack of initiative that is the problem in their life. It's what's deeply rooted in their Ori that causes the issues in their life. What does that mean? Everything I just said. You see, science is only catching up with spirituality. Science is only dipping into the waters of spirituality with an Avion bottle, taking a dip out of it and bringing it back and putting it into universities and selling it to you like it's this divine information that they are the authors of it. But spirituality has been saying this for thousands and thousands of years. This is not new information that I'm talking to you about. This is ancient information spiritually that people have been living by for thousands of years. Science wants you to think that it's something new. But this Ori thing has been around forever. This is why guarding it matters. Everybody should not have access to your spirit. Every song should not enter your spirit. Every environment should not shape your spirit. And when you find yourselves in those places, and it's easy to do it in this lifetime because you get invited to places and you want to go hang out and do certain things, just live life, so to speak. But then you find yourself in places that is not highly elevated and vibrationally high elevated. It's just not. You go to friends events and you're hanging out with people and you realize that I don't want to be here. This is not in alignment with what I want to be like or allow into my head. the music, the food, the conversations, the people. But then you got to make a hard choice to walk away from it and seem like you're antisocial. Well, I'll just be antisocial because I'm going to walk away every time. Every ideology should not guide your spirit. That's a big one too. Because repeated exposure becomes internal programming, and internal programming eventually becomes external behavior. So today's Reset Sunday, the big question is, are your patterns serving your Ori? I want you to ask yourself this. Again, share this video. But ask yourself this. Are your patterns, yours, not nobody else, not black people's patterns, none of that. We're talking directly to you. Are your patterns serving your Ori? And are your patterns and your patterns in your life reflective of the wisdom of what you believe in? Or has your Ori become a prisoner to your patterns? Because one path leads to alignment, the other leads to cycles. And healing begins the moment you reclaim authority over what governs your spirit. And remember, Ori governs it all. I know Ori is a concept that a lot of people may not get just yet. But if you came in late or you watched this video late, remember I explained what Ori is in the very beginning of this presentation. Ori is so important. Ori is that deity we have access to every day. We can pray to every day. We can mold, cultivate every day. As long as we're conscious of what we're putting in it, it will only give us back what we put in it. Like anything else, if you're cooking a meal, you can only get out of that meal what you put in it. If you didn't put salt in it, why would it taste salty? Right? You can only get out of it what you put in it. So if you don't put that wisdom in there, if you're not putting the work in and studying something within the spiritual religious thing that you identify with, if you don't put the work in with it, and you just, again, you're going by your own experiences that are going to shift from minute to second to hour to day to month to year. They're going to always shift. Your experiences are always going to be different. How could you go with something that's so erratic? The thing about spirituality that it never changes. Wisdom of spirituality never changes. I don't care if it's now or 10,000 years ago, there's the same issues on earth now. So whatever you're tapped into should be speaking to those things that are baseline understandings of life, character, and how to walk in this lifetime. Today's time is shifting by the second, minute, and hour. Experiences pop up by the second, minute, and hour, month of the day. And we're going by that? No. Let's not do that. I was out there this Saturday, Friday for Juneteenth in Leimert Park. And when you look at it for what it was, I always say this, man, it's like you want to see who we are as a people, just go to any cultural event and you will see what it is. It's so ridiculous to what's going on in the Oris of our collective community that is so indicative to the issues that we're having in society that we are living amongst, and which makes it so hard for us to cultivate our Ori and block out the things that no longer serve us. I wound up having to leave. I couldn't stay. I was there maybe all of 45 minutes after having to talk my way into it because they were blocking it off and only letting so many people in. But after talking my way into it, I got in, I couldn't stay. It was just too much. YNs, young cats walking down the block trying to gangbang on everybody. Ladies walking around with everything showing, all out, hanging out. dudes sagging and just looking at everybody mad dogging me. We had a Juneteenth. Our ancestors died, lived in slavery in this situation. That's what we're supposed to be celebrating. And we out here doing this in their honor. Music talking about all the destructive things in the world, bumping everywhere you go. At a Juneteenth? What's in your Ori? Woo! In closing, I ad-libbed that one a lot because I wasn't supposed to say that, but I had to get that off my chest. In closing, whatever repeatedly enters your Ori eventually becomes your patterns. And whatever patterns you refuse to heal will eventually begin managing your destiny. Okay? Will begin to manage your destiny. I'm going to say this one more time for those in the back who couldn't hear me. Whatever repeatedly enters your Ori eventually becomes your patterns. Whatever your mama said, your big mama said, the song says, your daddy said over and over to you, TV says, everything you do, you see, and you repeat over and over, it becomes your pattern. And whatever patterns you refuse to heal, but first you got to know if they're toxic to you, not to even want to heal them. Because it came from your mother or your father or grandparent, you may think that is God's law. That's not always the truth because everybody, even our parents, don't get it right all the time. They're human beings like you and I are. You don't get it right with your kids all the time. You're a human being. The thing is, you got to weigh it against something heavier and bigger than them. And if it aligns with them, then stick with it. But if it doesn't align with it, you must modify it because they may not have gotten it right. And whatever patterns you refuse to heal again, eventually begin to manage your destiny. Once you weigh those things up and seen the truth in them, then you can align it with your destiny. If you haven't done that measurement and you're letting that impregnate your destiny or infect your destiny, then the results aren't going to be what the results are. But your Ori should be in control of this. That's the moral to the story. As long as your Ori is programmed with the right things, though. Because you can have a bad Ori, and it's not supposed to be leading your destiny. The number one goal here is to find something bigger than yourself and begin to pour that clean water into your receptacle called Ori. Eventually, that water is going to wash out all of the things that are polluting your Ori until you have a clean glass in your Ori that you can pour from, create new patterns from, respond from that space, and then change your life and everything around you. I hope that you guys got something from this presentation. This has been presented by healpthd.com. healpthd.com. If you have any questions, please go there and join us. Put in work. Let's put in work. Join the Rewire Academy. Join the Reset Sundays every Sunday. Join us at a Hood Summit. I have another program coming up called The Father in You for us fathers out there. Today is Father's Day. Share this information with the fathers out there. We have a Fathers in You Academy we're going to start up coming up at the end of this month. Man, get involved. Let's put in the work. Let's not just be talking. I don't want to be about the talk. Let's be about the action. The action is the toughest part of this whole thing. I know, I get it. To actually do something different than what you've already been doing that everybody else around you is not going to be willing to do. That's tough. It's tough. I get it. Still, it's necessary, though. What are you going to do? Follow suit or lace up your boots? I'm going to holler at y'all later, man. I'm Makan Jula. I am Jasir Franklin, founder of Healed PTHD. I appreciate you for watching me this Sunday on a Father's Day. Again, happy Father's Day to all my fathers out there. Please share this video with somebody who you think's needed. and subscribe to the channel. All right. I'll see y'all soon. Have a good holiday. Have a good Father's Day. And the rest of your week, may you reset your Ori to achieve the goals in life that you want to see. Ashe. Peace, y'all.